Day 8 in the Lurgy Diary Room. Hello folk. Oh, that's only a reference that Brits will get, sorry. How are you all today? I hope you're well. I'm feeling finally like the lurgy might be on the way out. Yay! I've still got a bit of an elevated temperature, so I'm still really sweaty and clammy. But I've got a bit more energy than I had yesterday, so hoorah! And we've got a really stiff breeze blowing today, so that's going to keep me nice and cool as I work. That also probably means we're not going to be able to talk to each other out there. It's going to be so windy and blowy. But yes, lots to do today, lots more sort of tidying and clearing. But I'm going to do a little bit of harvesting as well. Not harvesting, big harvesting, just harvesting for meals for the next couple of days. So I thought I'd show you what I do when I'm doing anything with my carrots, because I'm going to harvest some carrots today. I didn't ever think I'd be saying that. 4 sowings of carrots. Don't ever give up. Yeah, so I've got a little trick I use when I do anything with my carrots to hopefully keep the naughty carrot fly away. And some other bits and bobs. So, without further ado, I've got the kitty cats all around me, as per usual. I'm going to get out there and embrace the gorgeous breeze. Not quite sure what I'm going to start with first, doesn't matter. Just going to get myself out there and see how much I can do today with this little teeny tiny extra bit of energy I've got. So, off I go. I'm armed. I'm about to do some cooking. No! I'm about to harvest my first, fingers crossed, carrots. Now, whenever I do anything with my carrots, some years I even thin them. Not this year. But whenever I do anything with them, I try to disguise the fact that I've disturbed them by doing my little garlic spritz. So the carrot fly, which can be so damaging, and it's so disheartening. The thing about root crops is you don't ever know what you're going to get until you get them out. So to dig out all your carrots and find they've all been massacred by carrot fly is just so disheartening. So I do a couple of preventative things. I have the EnviroMesh on them, and I interplant them with the leeks because supposedly the smell of the leeks is supposed to help put them off their scent. Likewise, the smell of the carrots is supposed to put the leaf miner off the scent. I'm not sure. So I have a belt and braces approach in terms of leeks and carrots together, plus EnviroMesh. Suddenly I can't concentrate on speaking and chopping. And then whenever I'm going to do anything, whenever I basically, for whatever reason, want to take the EnviroMesh off, if it's for thinning or if I want to do some weeding, what have you, I do my little spritz. And all it is I've got one of my really tiddly garlics. I got it quite small this year, but God, that's nearly made my eyes water. They're really pungent. So I just mash it up a bit into the spritzer. Phew, I'm going to stink. Hold on, let's get all those last little bits. It's going to be fun doing this today in the wind, isn't it? Taking the EnviroMesh off. Let me just rinse my fingers a bit because it's sticky. Yeah, garlic, a little bit of water. All over myself. That'll do. And then literally now I'm just going to let that sit and steep in the warmth for maybe a couple of hours or so. Could use it straight away, of course, but I'm going to let it steep so that water gets really stinky with the garlic. And then I'm going to go and see what lies beneath with the carrots. Oh my goodness, isn't it? I'm sure I say this every year, but I think root crops are always one of my most favourite things to harvest, because it is buried treasure. We don't know what we're going to get, so we have to kind of brace ourselves for a huge disappointment. But you know, digging for potatoes, digging out carrots, parsnips, I love it. I absolutely blooming love it. So hurry up and steep. I can't wait. I'm armed with my spritzer, so before I even think about taking the enviromesh off, oh, don't break spritzer. The spritzer's been a bit on and off all summer. Ah, phooey. Oh dear. Well, what I might have to do instead, what I was going to say is I spritz all over the enviromesh just to begin with, and then the actual plants. But I think what I'm going to have to do, this is ridiculous, I'm just going to have to splash it for now. How absurd. How absurd. Try and put them off the scent. Now, of course, none of you have seen under here yet this year, have you? Because every time I do my little walk around, it's all covered over. So I just have it held down with these little, they're ever so handy, these pegs. Let me step aside so you can see the contrast. So obviously it goes in there, but they've got these little kind of slight curves over the top, and that just kind of pulls the enviromesh down. Dead nifty. I didn't buy them, I found them, I can't even remember where, but yeah, really handy for things like your enviromesh, where you may want to have it up and off from time to time. Opla. Let's see if we've got any carrots. Da, da, da. Oh my goodness. There be carrots, there be. Oh, fantastic. Let's just have a little bit more of this on. Keep away, carrot fly, keep away. Right, let's get up and close and personal. So I think I'm going to start with this little one that's all on its own on the end, and then one behind. Now, normally I sow Autumn King, and they're happy to sit in the ground all winter. If it looks like there's going to be a hard freeze, you can chuck some straw on the top. But people were asking me recently about how I store my carrots. I don't. I just store them in the ground. If there are any left in the ground when I need to get this bed ready for the next crop next year, I'll lift the last few and freeze them, which is what I did this year. And they're great. But the truth is, I've done so many sowings, I now can't remember whether this is Autumn King or, yeah, I've got no idea. So before I try and dig it out, I'm going to just move that little red ant because I don't want you to sting me. I'm going to try Steve's technique. Steve, who comments as Digwell Green Fingers. I think it was Steve who mentioned this to me in the new year for my parsnips, about pushing it down first, and by pushing it down I can then pull it out. Oh, I suppose that depends whether it's massively forked or not. No, I don't think it's going to work for this one. Let's just dig it out. Wow, the ground is so dry. Yes, this one is massively forked. I can see straight away. It's a tiddler. So, I think I need my fork for my recipes in the next couple of days. I'll only need, well, depending on their size, I'll only need 3 or 4 carrots out. Wow, I think I'm going to have to get my fork. Let's try that one at the back. I don't know if you can see it. Let me just tip you up a little. Whoopsie. A little bit. I get in there a bit closer. Oh lordy, I think I'm going to have to get my fork. I'm doing this at the most ridiculously awkward angle. Oh look, that one's all fur coat and no knickers. Unless it goes off to the side. Is it going off to... Oh, it's going off to the side. I beg its pardon. Maybe it has got some knickers after all. So, it's gone around the corner a little bit. But that's okay, like I always say. My stomach doesn't care what shape it is. See if I can get some out like this. Bear in mind my hands are huge. Oh, I probably only need about 3 that size for the recipe I'm doing. Let's see. Is that one ready? Oh, go on, let's find another one. And then I'll come back to this one on the front. Have a go at this beastie. Oh, you see what I mean about you just never know what you're going to get, do you? Because that's a dinky one, I'm going to have one more. They also, because they got going so late, I'm not expecting, oops, that one cracked right into you. I'm not expecting them to be as big as they have been in previous years. But yeah, look, the other one, where are we? Oh, just smacking it in my own face. A couple more, and that's ready for some making some borscht. Need to get some beetroot to go with it. When I came back to the garden a few days ago after my fairly prolonged absence, these poor beetroot were looking very sad, as in dying of thirst, bless them. So they've had a good soak and they've picked up quite a bit. Throughout the season as they've been growing, I do, by way of thinning them, I take the tops. So when the tops are really young, I take those for add them to all sorts of salads, smoothies, or what have you. And then again now, as I'm cropping, that I did sow them really closely. So as I'm cropping them, I sort of do alternate ones, and then the ones that are left, they've got a bit more space, do a bit more growing. They're looking lovely. So, isn't that a happy, happy sight? Oh, beautiful, beautiful colour of the stalks. The leaves at this stage, they're a bit beyond using. I mean, yeah, they're pretty manky. So I'll just twist all the tops off and put those in the compost today and take these home for my soup. I'm going to take home, about half a kilo. That should do it. Brilliant. And now I need a fennel. And I think there is one fennel that hasn't bolted. Fennel's been a huge disappointment this year, partly because they were so tiddly, but also because they bolted. It's sort of inevitable because we've been so hot and so dry, but this one hasn't. It's on the verge, so I'm jolly well going to have it out and make the most of it. It's probably going to be a little bit tougher than I would want if I was, say, having it for risotto, which is my favourite way of using it. But in a soup that's going to be completely blended down, it'll be fine because I'm going to get all that flavour, all that goodness, but any of that toughness, that texture will be blitzed out. So, good. That's a happy little a happy little harvest for a few meals in the next couple of days. This is going to be a first for me in my garden. I'm going to plant some spring bulbs. Woo! I always keep, excuse me, I always keep this little patch in the corner right on the top of my plot for flowers, just because it makes me happy when I arrive. Please excuse me. And it gets so many comments from other plot holders who like to walk past and see the flowers, especially when the lily is doing its thing. So I thought, well, this ground never really gets disturbed, pop some bulbs in. So I've got a mixture here. I've got some tulips, which if you saw the video when I was at my mum's house, the next day what you didn't see was we planted, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of spring flowering bulbs. And with all her bulbs she'd got some tulips, but she's not really keen on tulips. Crazy. Mum, you're crazy. Anyway, so she asked if I would like them and I said yes, please, of course I would. So there's 6 of those. Then I got, and I'm sure many of you have had similar for Christmas, I got this little bowl arrangement with, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 5 hyacinths in it. That was a Christmas present for my mummy, thank you. So I don't know how good they are, I don't know if they've survived, but all I did with them, along with, this is an amaryllis, and this was, what a lovely, that was a get well present brought to my flat from my plot neighbour Sheena, who you've seen from time to time. So with all of them, all I did, obviously they flowered, and then as we came into sort of the later spring, sort of March, April, they started to die back. I didn't do anything to them, I let them just die back. I cut out the flower stems, but with all the leaves I just let it die back, perfectly naturally. And eventually the whole lot was dry, so I've lifted them and I'm going to pop them in the garden and see what happens. If nothing happens, well, I haven't lost anything. If something happens, it's an extra bit of colour, isn't it, for the spring? Yay! Yep, this ground is, it's pretty hard and it's pretty dry. I'm not going to worry about these at the minute. My neighbour Catherine opposite, her plot is always covered in poached eggplants in the spring. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. So when she was sort of removing some of them, I asked if I might have some seed, and all I've done, all through the front of here, look, I've got my great lumping great feet in it, but it won't mind. I've just literally scattered a load in and then just scraped some soil over the top. Actually, what I'm thinking about here is if I'm struggling for depth, I've got some spent compost I could just put on the top. So yes, lots of lovely poached eggplants. Get these bulbs in, and also I've just brought down from the shed, they're not even sorted, the wheat from the chaff, as it were. This is some of the calendula I harvested a couple of days ago. Isn't that a gorgeous little jug? Guess where that came from. So yeah, I'm going to pop... what should I put in this corner? I think the amaryllis. I don't know if it'll be happy to grow outside in the UK, but I'll give it a go. I don't even know if it's going to save well, but I think I'll put the amaryllis and the tulips in the corner, and then the hyacinths can go a little bit further along. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get some soil to add to this, because of depth. Oh look, no matter how many times you go through your garden, there's always a lump of glass somewhere, isn't there? Oh, sorry, worm. I'll put you back in a minute, little lady worm. So what am I doing here? Oh, the tulips. Let's just have a little arrange. So if I have, this isn't the depth obviously, I'm just going to plonk them. 1, 2, 3, and then if I do the other 3, sort of here and here, yeah, I think that'll look quite nice. Okay, good. And then, like I say, if I scatter a load of calendula on the top too, then as all this dies back, the calendula can then come through. Don't worry about these little primulas in the back. They were just sort of put there. I'm not a huge fan of primulas, but they were given to me. They're a little bit of colour, so I shan't say no. Oh, this soil, it's tough and it's dry. Do I have much hope for any of these? I'm not sure, but you don't know unless you try, do you, eh? Yeah, go on, get in there. Well, if they do work, there will be a nice extra little splash of colour in the spring, won't it? So it's just liberal scattering of calendula. Come back, little primulas. There we go. Oh, weed can come out. So there's obviously poached egg plant seeds in there as well. Doesn't matter, they can all just do whatever they want. Fab. Right. Time to get the little hyacinths in. I nearly forgot. I need a celery out today too. So, oh gosh, it looks like a little bit of a snail fest down there. Yeah, so I'm going to have one of these celery out. Now, as you remember from earlier in the year, normally I would grow green Utah, which is self-blanching, and I use it as a cut and come again. So I literally take leaves from the outside, keep doing that, keep harvesting. Sorry, I'm upside down. They all failed because of some hinky compost. So I was very, very grateful to be given, I can't remember what this one's called, giant red or something. It's not that giant. But these were some leftover seedlings that Kay had. So I'm very, very grateful to her for them. But in truth, I think next year I shall go back to my tried, tested, beloved, whatever you want to call it, green Utah. Because, well, I don't like the idea of harvesting a whole clump at the same time. So the idea with the blanching is it's supposed to take some of the bitterness out of the stalks. Gosh, they're scrawny, aren't they? You know, the celery is a bog plant, or it's related to a bog plant. So maybe this is just the wrong year for celery. Maybe I didn't keep it wet enough. But anyway, that's going to come home with me and be added to all the other veg. And that will do for, gosh, I mean, when I'm growing my normal stuff, I'd have 3 or 4 stalks, but I might need a whole bunch. It'll be interesting with this as well to see how flavoursome, I was going to say how flavoursome the leaves are, but just feeling them, they are mighty, mighty tough, so they might not be as good to eat as the green Utah. But like I say, I'm grateful because I need some celery for my various soups, and I've got some. Yay! Oh, it's such a breezy day. Right, let's get all this stuff packed and ready to take home. We're having a little quiet moment. Aren't we, little Miss Poppy? Oh, it's been a great afternoon in the garden today. I've done loads. I'm really sweaty again. Loads and loads. Mostly sort of taking out things that are properly over. Obviously I've been doing a bit of harvesting. But yeah, just beginning the big autumn tidy up. And what else have I done? I can't even recount now, but yeah, good few hours. I've managed to do about sort of 4 or 5 hours today, which is great. That means I'm definitely on the mend. Yay! I'm going to finish now. I do have a temperature still. I'm going to finish now with a bit of a trim of some of the grassy bits, especially outside the shed because it's not been done for ages. Then I'm going to water again because the ground is so dry, as you saw from getting the carrots out and trying to put the bulbs in. There's still loads and loads to do, but I'm not hurrying anything at the moment because, you know, don't want to make myself more poorly. But yeah, it's been great. The breeze is lovely, beautiful temperature. Not many folk around today, so, you know, sometimes that's a good thing because I get on with my work instead of sitting and having a chat. But all things being equal, it's been a really good session. So I'm going to say cheerio to you all for now while I do my last couple of hours here today, and I can't wait to start cooking with those gorgeous veggies. Not tonight, but probably tomorrow. So I will see you all again before too long, I hope. Probably next time with a recipe. Maybe I should do a recipe for some cat food, okay? What do you think, Poppy? Should we make some kitty snacks? Ooh, homemade kitty snacks. I've never done that. I might give that a go. That might save me a few quid, mightn't it, on you, you greedy little thing. So whatever you are all up to, I hope you're happy doing it, having fun. I hope you're excited about this change of season and plans for what to do over the autumn and winter. Yay! And of course, for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, you're starting your first seeds, aren't you? Ah, how exciting! Whatever you're up to, have fun, be happy, happy, whistle a merry tune, and I'll see you all again before too long. And I'm just going to go and get Poppy off the counter over there. Take care, everyone.